Anime and manga are stories. And yeah, guess who made them?
Humans.
That means human tradition, law, history, and behavior are in these stories. So now you look at the screen and say, what's the point you're trying to make? Well, I've been reading a book called The 48 Laws of Power. And yeah, it's about manipulation and gaining power, while also showing how to keep it in this video. So let's get started. Number one is to never outshine the master. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior in your desire to please and impress them. Do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Robert Greene. Rule number one is simple. Never outshine your master, because the outcome may backfire in the end. We are all humans at the end of the day, and the more power you get, you have to protect it, which can cause insecurities. Displaying traits of superiority or outshining your master may stir these insecurities up, and they will stop you with either lowering your status, say throwing you in jail, or ruining you financially, or possibly worse, death. Best to play under the radar and not be a threat to the master. Now, for a master, I mean someone that has more power than you in the situation you wish to get power in, or to maintain the power that you have built. This may be your boss, or someone with a higher position than you, or someone that helps you out in such a way that they have power over something you really rely on to gain that power. Now that we cleared that up, I watched Bleach, and it gives a great example of the main antagonist, Aizen. I'm going to start the story where Ichigo is trying to rescue Rukia from the Soul Society, because she was put on death row, where she was going to be executed immediately. Within this arc, we are introduced to the Gotei 13, which are essentially generals or captains to the 13 squads in the Soul Society's platoon. Aizen is one of these captains, but we never really know what his goals are in the beginning. He comes off too polite and soft-spoken, flying under the radar, while he was really scheming to get the power or reach the goal he had envisioned. Now, if you don't like that goal, that's your opinion, but to his superiors, he didn't seem much of a threat. Now, he did use his Bankai to create illusions, but that's besides the point. Aizen used his personality as a trait to slide under the Soul Society. His main goal needed power, and to learn how to get this power, he used the Soul Society's vast knowledge stored so he could expedite the process. On the other hand, we have Genrusai Shikikun Yamato, or Yamato for short, who is the captain commander of the Gotei 13 and is the head of the 1st Division. Just look at the quote. Why precisely do you think I have served as a captain commander of the Gotei 13 for 1,000 years? Because in all those 1,000 years, no Shinigami was born to rival me in strength. Yamato. Yamato was well respected and never took disrespect from nobody. He is clearly the master, showing even by the quote here that he is the dominant one when it comes to power between the Gotei 13. This, and the fact that he follows the rules of the Soul Society to the T, seems like bending the rules in front of him is not the way to progress in getting power, so you can eventually overcome the power difference. Maybe even get some leverage, or that would make it hard to lower your power. Aizen do have plans that he you need to gain power, and it is to kill the Soul King, which I can say is more than a figurehead than a leader. But to Aizen, he had to get more power to kill him. To get this power, he had to not show his intentions while scheming along the sides, which include the research and gaining people such as Gin, which is the few people he allows to help him. While doing this, he had to also not be flashy and not draw attention to himself, to have even the smallest suspicion from Yamato, as he didn't want to seem like he was plotting against the Soul Society. If this betrayal was made known, then he would have surely suffered the same fate as Nicolas Fouquet. Let's talk about Fouquet. Fouquet had a lot of power, but wanted to show his gratitude towards the King of France. He threw a party and made sure it would be the party of the summer, or even a year, and it was. He had recently done his house, and it was extravagant. The problem is that it outshined his king, who was a jealous man, even though the party was supposed to be in honor of him. It only made him mad that the house and the party outshined his majesty himself. It caused him to be jailed and basically die in prison. Now, Aizen would most likely be put to death, but maybe you don't want to share the same fate as these two individuals, or maybe you do. What I want to say is you could use this law in your everyday life. Now, you're like, how? How can I use this law in my everyday life? You don't go all Aizen on your boss or whatever, because he does more than one law, and honestly, he's a dick. How about grinding it out at your job? Shining above your coworkers, but maybe acting as someone that is still willing to learn, say, new techniques from your boss that certainly will help you in the future. Play dumb a little bit, but not too dumb where you lower your status. An easy way to do this may be changing your mindset from I know to what can you teach me? Maybe it's using your charisma too in little moments, but letting your boss or higher rank person shine just a little bit more than you. Let's be honest, you wouldn't want to say someone that has less talent or skill outshine you just because they have the answer. Same goes for the master in your life. Now, there is an exception to the rule. This exception is your master is becoming a shell of his former self. Then, toss him to the side as Scar did his only brother. Again, we are trying to become the master. So, maybe if your master don't have any power or leverage on you, toss him to the side. A great example of this is shown through celebrities, and I've seen a video on YouTube that explains this concept well. Be a Drake. Yes, I know what I just said. A Drake. Give credit when credit is due, just as Drake does with Lil Wayne. Why though? Well, Lil Wayne is still really connected within the industry. Drake right now can compete with Lil Wayne's catalog. The difference is connections. Lil Wayne has more connections due to time in the industry. You see this by being on tracks with other rap stars while not being in the top 100 list of any kind and not keeping up the rapper persona done by so many. He doesn't have to. He is well respected still. So Drake, even being as popular as he is, still gives Wayne the shine as being the greatest of all time, while also making Drake tone down his dominant aura he projects with nearly anyone else. But there's a catch. There is a legend who is still well connected, but has fallen from his power in the music industry a little bit. We know him as Kanye West. Kanye has criticized Drake and he took it personally. Mr. West has simply lost stock in himself due to his thoughts he outwardly display, and also his music dipped. He is now a fallen master, and remember what I said, you gotta kill that person's career as Truck Kun. Run it over till you are in front, until they are a former husk of themselves as their power fade. And Drake did this. It may be Mr. Pablo personally as well, but Drake threw shots at Mr. West that were borderline easy to show remorse for the man. Even a better example can be given. We go back again to Eisen, who has already betrayed the Soul Society. Barragan Louis Byrne was in power and was basically the Soul King for the Hollow World. And personally, Eisen had more power than him. So guess what? You have to overthrow that king to become the king himself, getting closer to his goal. Run him over like Truck Coon would, and show no remorse as the early example with Drake. Now, this is my analysis on part 1 of the 48 Laws of Power series. For a quick recap, never outshine your master, as it can and will most likely get demoted or handled with, because now you are a threat, unless that master is becoming a shell of its former self. Then run it over, just like Truck Coon, and replace yourself as the new master. This is Americanese Edits, and yeah, I'm out.